The word on the street is that Andre Russell is not loyal to the West Indies cricket.
Why? Because they choose to play for bigger money.
Welcome, Sports Nation, to Sports DTM, the sports channel where we call sports down the middle. You can expect the latest in sports news, views, and reviews from our resident analysts. No sports topic is too controversial, and no team or player is above criticism. So just smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on our balanced offering of riveting sports content. And don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Welcome to Sports DTM.
Greetings, Sports DTM fans, and welcome to another episode of Sports Down the Middle, your channel of undiluted sports content. Well, Raymond and I are here to talk about, Raymond, this same story with Andre Russell keep coming up over and over again. We hear that Andre is not loyal to West Indies cricket, and this is why. When the West Indies selected the team to tour Pakistan in December 2021, Andre Russell said that he is not available, citing personal reasons. While the team was on tour to Pakistan in December, Andre signed to the Melbourne Stars T20 team in Australia's Big Bash T20 League, right? And the person started to question, why? What's your take on the situation as so far? And I see fans out there complaining, and we heard saying Andrew Mason rather saying that we cannot continue with this foolishness with these guys. Russell is only choosing the West Indies when it is convenient. And once there is another team out there that is playing, Russell, I go choose them over the West Indies. What's your take on this? And this is not the first time something similar is happening with Andre Russell. December the previous year, when the West Indies selected a squad, Andre Russell was part of it, and he declined and saying that for personal reasons. And a week and a half later, he was in Sri Lanka playing T20. Same old story keep popping up every December.
So I understand where Anderson is going with this. I really do. But I don't think they should actually, and I don't think they have the plans to actually close that loophole in a sense. It's kind of hard to ask a player, the lifespan of any athlete, and a player to give up the chance to earn way more money. You understand? That just won't happen. And so I almost think that you should not actually close that door on any player. Allow them to actually make that choice. I know it hurts. I know you feel like the West Indies actually not, disadvantaged by not being able to pick their best team. If the younger players take the chance, there's a possibility that somebody like Andre will find himself not being included in the team going forward, and that is a fact. So if the younger players use this opportunity, especially given the transitional period the West Indies are going through, this might actually work out for them to see other players who can actually be a new Andre Russell, so to speak. But I do understand, but it's kind of hard to ask these players not to take these financial windfall in a sense and choose to play for the West Indies. I understand playing for the West Indies is a big deal, but sometimes the financial will kind of call more.
Raymond, playing for the West Indies gives the players the opportunity to be seen, So
right.
There's another section of the fans who are saying that when you play for West Indies, that's when the people see you. So you can't, West Indies give you this platform, you make a name for yourself, and then you turn your back on them, which is what some persons are saying that Andre has done time and time again.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, the next option is the old retainer setup, but we all know how much that would probably cost West Indies to actually try and have this retainer setup to hold these players, prevent them pretty much from going and trying to earn more by having a retainer. How much you could possibly pay these players for not going to a Big Bash or an IPL or whatever it is at any given moment? You probably can't afford it. So how can you prevent it? I can't say how at all in any shape or form. And I don't think Andre Russell is being ungrateful to actually take his chance and shoot his shot in this scenario. I don't think so. Other players should use that platform because this is how it is a rotation scenario. Other players should use this platform when they get the chance to eclipse and probably get a chance to play over Andre Russell, and it's a cycle maybe because all these other players might end up going down the same road. But as I say, it's a rotation, and I don't think you can close that door in any shape or form unless you have that money to put up. But if you can't and you can't retain them, then it's just gonna keep happening.
There's a couple of things that and some that you just mentioned, but Andre Russell is in a particular situation because the West Indies, the way the West Indies treat the players, and you spoke of the retainer, and if we were to look at the way they treat the players, and in particularly putting it in context of employment and the lifespan of a cricketer or the career of a cricketer, and look at how they're treating Chris Gayle now, wanting to walk away with a farewell match, and they're saying no. But when Russell would have retired and have $0 in his account and 0 cents and represented the West Indies for 22 years, and the West Indies saying that you don't deserve a thank you match, you don't deserve a thank you card, why would I want to continue to play for the West Indies knowing that when I reach a particular age and I will have to leave or they will kick me out, I have no money in my account? What do I do after that? So if me didn't know?
Clearly, if you didn't know, and I don't even know if there's no pension really in this game. So why wouldn't you not actually try earn as best as possible when the opportunity presents itself? I see the double whammy in a sense because West Indies won't be able to pick their best team. I see where that comes, but believe me, if given that West Indies won't be able to pick their best team with someone like Andre Russell not making himself available, what will be affected is West Indies ranking, right? West Indies ranking will be off. We understand that, and so when they're going to play a World Cup or any game, they would end up having to play more match because they wouldn't start in at the Big 12 or whatever like the last time. But that helps them to actually probably all gel during those other warm-up games to qualify to the Big 12 to the next round. So they would have to take the longer route to gel and fix chemistry, and that's just what it will be. You understand? That's just what it will be, given that this is the scenario if they're not being able to pick their best team. However, given the younger players now coming in, if they're able to shine, then we won't have that problem. Our ranking would not plunge. So, it to me, Mason, probably as upsetting as he is with the matter, it really not that big of a deal if you ask me.
So whilst Andre Russell is the player who is in the spotlight now, this particular situation with players not being available for international duties and playing in T20 is almost unique to the West Indies. And I'm going to share with you why it is unique to the West Indies, right? So if we look at the match fees, and this is based on rates from 2017, so they might be a little outdated, so don't kill us on that. But if we were to look at the difference in the rates, Raymond, India, England, Australia, New Zealand, all above the West Indies. This is what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th on the list in terms of Test cricket fees, match fees. When we say the T20 leagues being played across the world, when the English select their teams, those players are allowed to go and play in the IPL, for example, for the period in which they're not required by the England team. And once the team require of them, then they probably play 5 matches in the IPL and then go represent England, because there is no issue of I'm leaving here and may have to go cut my earnings by 5,000%.
Yeah, it's clear. And so with even this, it goes down to another big problem in cricket, and that comes down to, for the West Indies cricket, that is sponsorship and amount of money available to actually pay these players. We see where they're ranked where that is concerned, and persons might actually not feel like, as you said, to take that pay cut to actually represent West Indies, who sometimes would be ungrateful, because you might play now and not get selected, and you turn on opportunity to play in a big bash to play for the West Indies, and you probably play 1 or 2 games and not get selected on another series, and what you do after that. So even those are problems, and that's why the whole request for a retainer, because you'd have that. If you're not even selected, you still get that retainer fee, even though they don't have that figure up there, the retainer fees would play a role. And I remember one time West Indies players were clamoring for something like that to actually, give some commitment, but I guess the funds weren't there, and so they're stuck with this way of dealing with things, and would always suffer with the players leaving for the tournaments that would pay them handsomely.
The percentage difference in match fee for India and the West Indies, for example, and the retained percentage difference is probably the same. I think the West Indies range from 50k to 140k per annum at the moment, or in 2017. So, but this is in US dollars, and as you mentioned, sponsorship. And if you're to think about footballers, for example, one footballer can pay all of them fees here after a month's salary. So sponsors out there, we need to invest more in all of the sports, none excluded. Just give the youths them an opportunity to make something of themselves. We're in a particular situation because the youths feels like there's no opportunity out there. And if we can in some way give them real meaningful opportunities, I'm sure the society will turn itself around sometime in the future, in the near future, that is. But at this particular moment, Andre Russell is being thrown under the bus by fans out there because he has opted not to go into retirement as a broke pocket, but to earn some money while he can. And we know how fragile he has been over the last couple of years. Knee injury, shoulder injury, back injury, ankle injury, the whole list of injuries. And we really want all our players out there. We don't want to see Andre on the street a beg after him retire, as he beg your back shoes. Absolutely not. So fans out there, we would love to hear from you. That is our perspective on the matter. Is Andre Russell loyal to the West Indies cricket team because he has decided, assuming here, decided to play for more money rather than playing for the West Indies? Leave all those comments in the comment section below. And always, always, always remember to like, to share, and to subscribe. And to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell all of them friends to come and join the Sports DTM family. This has been another episode of Sports Down the Middle. Be blessed.